Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. I hope by the grace of Almighty Allah, all of you are fine. Dear student, I am Mohammad Shahjahan, Assistant Professor, Department of Accounting, Milestone College, Uttara, Dhaka. Dear student, today we'll discuss on chapter 10 and it is financial statement. This is our second lecture on this chapter. Dear student, at the end of this lecture, you will able to prepare an income statement for service providing business. You can able to prepare income statement for merchandising business. You can determine net sales, net purchase, cost of goods sold, gross profit, operating expenses, operating profit, other income, other expense and net profit. Dear student, let's come to our class. Dear student, first, the format of income statement of service related organization. Dear student, last class we discussed about the income statement of service related organization. Dear student, in service related organization, you know that only two step. In last class, I have discussed in details. From income, we have to subtract the expense. Then you will find out the profit. Look at income, then total expense, then you will find out the profit. Dear student, look at some example income. Look at the format. At first you will write particular, amount, detail and total taka. That means in this two column we will do working only. If there is any calculation, if there is any addition or subtraction, we will do here, and here we will write the final amount. Dear student, it is comprehensive income statement. So in this statement, we will subtract expense from income. So at first we have to write the income. Whatever income is given in the question, that we will write here. In the example is income from service, add service revenue receivable. That means if there is any income, it is outstanding, then we have to add it. If there is any income advance, then what will happen? Then it will be subtracted, dear student. And then interest received from different sources, dividend received, interest received from investment, commission received, any other income. You know that this is chapter 10. So from chapter 1 to 9 you have learned different types of income. So dear student, here you will write the income from different sources. Then dear student, we have to subtract expenditure. Then what are the expenditure? Dear student, expenses are, look at, office rent, salary, electricity and telephone bill, insurance expense, advertisement expenses, electricity and telephone bill, legal expenses, conveyance expenses. Dear student, here only very few are expenses. You know that. Again I am telling, chapter 1 to 9 you have learned lots of expenses. So all expenses may come here. Just I have given here some example of expenses. Dear student, one important thing you have to learn, if any expenses is advance, then we have to subtract it from concerned expenses. If any expenses is due, we have to add it. Look at here, office rent is here and due rent we have to add. Then net amount you have to write here. Then all expenses we will write in this column, second column, all expenses. Then we have to add total expenses, and total expenses will come this column. Dear student, now total income is here, then total expense is here, then total income and total expense, and expense will subtract from income. Then you will find out the net profit. Net profit equals to total income minus total expense equals to net profit. Dear student, one important question may arise. If income is less than the expense, of course it is loss. That means if expense is more than the income, then the result will negative, and negative result will show that net profit. You know, all organization there will not be profit. In some organization it's maybe loss. Dear student, so you understand how you can find out income or profit of an service related organization. Again I am telling, total income will be subtracted total expenses, total income minus total expenses, then you will find out the net profit. I hope you understand. Dear student, now some important element of merchandising business, how we can find out net sales. Dear student, this is a formula to find out net sales. Sales plus unrecorded sales minus sales return minus discounted sales. Dear student, you know that now you are doing accounting in creative base. So requirement A will be for 2 marks, requirement B will be for 4 marks, requirement C will be for 4 marks. So net sales may come in requirement A for 2 marks. So how we can find out net sales? You have to memorize the formula, dear student. Sales plus add unrecorded sales less sales return less sales discount. Then you will find out the net sales. All information will be given in the question. Just you will find the information from the question and you will write it and you will write the answer. Addition and subtraction. Dear student, very easy. Dear student, now net purchase. How you will find out net purchase? Purchase minus purchase return minus purchase discount minus goods drawing minus good distribution for advertisement. Dear student, two things is more from sales here. Goods drawing. You know that owner of business may take goods from the business. That is goods drawing. If there is any goods drawing, it will decrease our purchase. If you distribution of goods for advertisement, then it will also decrease our purchase. That's why these two items also will be subtracted from purchase. Then you will find out the net purchase. Dear student, now cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. How you will find out cost of goods sold? Opening stock, add net purchase. Net purchase you calculate here. Net purchase, then direct expenses add, and some example of direct expenses are carriage, wages, import duty, moreover dock charge, coolie wages, packing expenses. That also a direct expenses. Dear student, and we have to subtract closing stock. Then you will find out the cost of goods sold. That means whatever goods you have sold, for that the expenditure is this. Again I am telling, this is most important. It will come for 4 marks, dear student. Opening stock, net purchase, plus direct expenses, plus carriage inward, plus wages, plus import duty, minus closing stock. Then you will find out the cost of goods sold. Dear student, now gross profit. How you will find out gross profit? Dear student, last class you have learned gross profit for merchandising business is net sales less cost of goods sold equals to gross profit. Net sales minus cost of goods sold equals to gross profit. Net sales minus cost of goods sold equals to gross profit. Dear student, net sales minus cost of goods sold equals to gross profit. Dear student, I hope you understand how you can find out gross profit. Dear student, in the creative base, look at 2 marks from this net sales, 2 marks from net purchase, 4 for cost of goods sold, 4 for gross profit. If you can learn, you may get 12 marks from this. So this is very important. And again I would like to tell how you'll find out net sales. Net sales means sales plus unrecorded sales minus sales return minus discount on sales. Dear student, I am telling all information will be in the question. Just you will find out and you will add and subtract it. Then you will find out the net sales. Net purchase, just 2 items is more. Goods drawing and goods distribution. Dear student, be very careful. Goods drawing, it will be in adjustment, and goods distribution for advertisement, it also will be adjustment. Dear student, in the trial balance, in the question, all information will given. Just you will find out it. Dear student, now cost of goods sold. How you will find out cost of goods sold? Dear student, opening stock. That means it will be given in the question, in the trial balance, debit side. Then net purchase, you will find out from here. Then we have to add direct expenses. Dear student, you have to know the direct expenses. Carriage, wages, import duty, dock charge. What is called direct expenses? The expenses which is related to purchase. That is called direct expenses, or production. Purchase or production, that will be direct expenses. And lastly, gross profit. Net sales we will find out from here, and cost of goods sold we will find out from here. So net sales minus cost of goods sold equals to gross profit. Net sales minus cost of goods sold equals to gross profit. Now dear student, homework. Dear student, your homework is learn and write the formula of a statement and learn and write